to tonight's webinar, Foundations Learning Hebrew Grammar, Part 7. Now, this is going to be an 8-part series. Now, it's split between Greek and Hebrew, so this is not the 7th session on Hebrew. Instead, it's really like the 4th session. Now, if you're wondering what is a purpose of a webinar, well, first and foremost, it's to provide training for the Logos Bible software. I want you to get more out of the Logos program. But also is to provide training so you can study the topic for yourself. What you learn here at the Learn Logos webinars is foundational for so much more Bible study that you'll be doing in the days ahead. When it's possible, we always try to provide biblical insights related to the topic. Now, we're doing Hebrew grammar, so we won't have as many as we would, let's say, if we're studying, for example, upcoming is on the sacrificial system. So there's going to be lots of biblical insights there. And also, we provide a personal book so you can equip yourself and others. And that is included with this training session. So as you can see here, I've got the personal book integrated into my Logos Bible software program. There's a table of contents with all the details, the links, everything you need to get more out of the training with LearnLogos.com. So what are the topics tonight? Well, we're going to have an introduction, which is what we're doing now. We're going to look at Hebrew numbers, Hebrew accents, the verbal hendiadys, clauses, how they can be introduced. We're going to show you how to get more out of the syntax with Anderson Forbes, and we're going to show you a couple other search tools for Hebrew. Just a quick reminder, when we do release the webinars, they're discounted 50% off, so you can get them for $4.99. And then also, there is the Logos Training Bundle. We still have the Logos 4 available for those of you who have not upgraded to Logos 5. And then there's the Logos 5 Training Bundle. And as you can see by the number of videos, this is the most affordable, comprehensive training on the internet for Logos. And it's not just a feature overview. I kind of take a fourfold approach to training. The first, of course, is to introduce you to all the features of Logos. And this is where all other training starts and finishes. But we go way beyond that. We take the next step, which is we connect those features to specific Bible study tasks. So word studies, cross-referencing. But we go even further. We show you how to organize those tasks into a systematic way of studying the Bible. And that's really key, because when do you do a word study? When is the best time to do cross-referencing? But we don't even stop there. Last step in the Bible study process. Even if you got all 3 of those steps down, you're still missing one important component, and that is the resources, the books. We have a whole DVD devoted to over 282 book overviews, introducing you to the key resources for each step along the Bible study process. In fact, we've even added some extra categories. There's over 14 categories organizing the books. So we show you the best books on prayer, the best books for word studies. And when you combine all 4 of these steps, key features, key tasks, a systematic approach to studying the Bible, and the key books, you have a comprehensive way of studying the Bible effectively with Logos Bible software. So take advantage of that. You can go to LearnLogos.com/buy now, and you can get that as a download. You can get that as a data DVD, or you can get both with immediate download and then a backup disc sent to you as well. So take advantage of those specials so you can get more out of Logos 5. Some other quick announcements. Don't forget to check out LearnLogos.com/events. We've got some great webinars yet ahead for the rest of the year. And if you've got some suggestions, there's a place where you can email me as we begin to plan out the 2015 events. So just be mindful of that if you've got some topics you'd really like to cover. Starting in August, we've got this wonderful specialized training. It's called Bible Study, How to Study the Bible with Logos. And it's 6 weekends on a Saturday, starting August 2nd, going through September 13th. Now, what makes this training different from the traditional webinars is several things. Number one, they're longer. They're about 2 hours for each one. There's homework involved, so I'm going to personally be discipling you through the training. We're going to pick one passage, and we're going to study it together, and that passage will cross over. Will primarily be in the Greek text, but we will make a crossover to the Hebrew text, so that way you get the full training with all the tools for Greek and Hebrew. And we're going to record all the sessions. So if Saturday is a busy time for you, no worries. We're going to record it and release that training videos within 24 hours. And so you can get the training, watch it, do the homework, turn it in, and of course there's no grades, but we do provide input and other insights to help you along in the process. Very excited about this because it really is personalized, intense training. In addition to all that, there's going to be a syllabus included, around 100 pages, and this is more or less more than a manual. It's going to be additional reading on the topics. It's going to have links to additional books so that you can learn more. And so really when you step back, if you are looking to study the Bible more effectively with Logos, then this intensive workshop for 6 weeks on Saturdays is just for you. Now, the early bird registration does end today, gives you an additional $50 off. If you have purchased the inductive Bible study webinars, the preparing sermons webinars, the Bible study webinars when I did for version 4, there's an additional $25 off. So that means you potentially could get up to $75 off the training. So I give all those specials because there is always a little bit of overlap from the previous training, but there's also a ton of new material here. Continuing on Monday, August 4th, we're going to be in our Jonah series, part 3. Now, Jonah 1 and 2 is already released. There's already a specialized personal book with fill in the blanks. It's already included with the purchase. So you can still join us if you have already missed the first 2 sessions. Monday, and there'll be, by the way, there'll be Jonah chapter 2 that we'll be looking at. Then the following Monday, we're going to be 2 weeks in a row here, will be how to study the sacrificial system of Christianity from Genesis to Revelation. Why did God introduce the sacrificial system? What does it point to? What do we need to understand about it from an Old Testament perspective and a New Testament perspective? And more importantly, if you study the scriptures, if you've attended my Millennial Kingdom webinar, you'll realize that there's sacrifices yet ahead. And many people have wondered, why does Ezekiel, for example, mention sacrifices when the cross is completed? So we're going to address and tackle some of those incredible issues and learn more about the sacrificial system from Genesis to Revelation. And then Monday, that following week, so 3 weeks in a row, we're going to continue with our last session, Greek Grammar, Part 8. And then at that point, we'll be done with the Foundation series for Greek and Hebrew. And then shortly after that, we'll release all the training videos for the Foundation. So very excited with what is yet ahead. One more announcement before we get into our session tonight. If you haven't had a chance to sign up for this community pricing, it's the Companion Bible. This is a fantastic resource. I can't mention enough good positive things about it. In fact, if you just go to the search box at LearnLogos.com store, type in Companion Bible, you'll see the link there. Click on it, and you'll see a whole bunch of comments from other Logos users why this book is fantastic. So we're trying to push this one across the finish line. We really like to see this one get available. And for $20, that's like half the price of the printed edition. It's available. In fact, if you want to see more about the book, just go to Amazon.com. I think they might have a look inside. I'm not quite sure. But it's just got incredible information that you just will not find elsewhere. So check that out and make your bid. Just bid $20 and we'll have that book cross the finish line, and we'll see it in our Logos library, hopefully in 2014. So let's go ahead and jump into our training tonight. And just a quick reminder, in many of the personal books, especially for the Greek and Hebrew foundations, I have a section called the Recommended but Not Required Resources. And these are just various books and resources that I think are pretty helpful for studying the topic. Now, in the other ones, I've got a much more exhaustive list. But in this particular one, I have 3 that I want to point out. First is Biblical Hebrew, a compact guide by Miles Van Pelt. Let me go ahead and just open that up, bring it in here so you can see that. This is a great, affordable, compact guide that'll give you some really good information. So you can see it introduces you to some basic Hebrew. I like it because it's very straightforward and easy to use. In fact, let me go ahead and open it up. So there's the Hebrew alphabet. There's really straightforward definitions provided and so forth. The next one is by Gary Pratico, also Miles Van Pelt, And it's actually really affordable. It's just a biblical Hebrew reference. Now, this is kind of like an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with just the concise information. Now, why do I like having this? Well, let me open up and show you. As you can see, it's so concise. So you just click on it and you can use it as a review sheet. You can click on the conjunction and say, oh yeah, here's all the various conjunctions, what I can expect. Hebrew nouns, what their forms are, and so forth. What's a Hebrew construct chain? And certain definitions like that to just make things easier. So if you're looking for kind of a cheat sheet, I should say in a more sanctified way, a helping sheet, this is the one for you. And many of you already have this third and last resource, but it's the Hebrew Bible Insert by Frederick Putnam. It's very affordable. If you don't have it, it's only $4. It is a fantastic resource nevertheless. In fact, let me go ahead and open this one up. Like the other resources I've shown you tonight, it's compact, quick, short, brief, easy to understand, non-technical definitions. But I like this because just the scope of it is fantastic. So, it gets into, for example, like one of the topics tonight, the verbal hendiadis, all right? So there's a whole bunch of there, hendiadis. I can never remember how to say that. So this book can be very useful for quick definitions and overviewing and reviewing what maybe you have forgotten or what you learn and later need to just refresh yourself. So 3 important, concise resources that you want to check out for your Logos library. Okay, let's begin with some important Hebrew concepts. And the first one is Hebrew numbers. Now, this is something you probably have overlooked when you've studied, but it's really important that you grasp how Hebrew handles numbers. Now, first I have a search here. So let me go ahead and run this. And you can see the way I've constructed this search. I'm searching my Hebrew-only collection, which I have provided that right here for you. And as you can see, the rule is quite simple. So before we run this search, let's digress for a moment and show you how to create this collection. So let's go to the main menu, click Tools, then locate in the menu Collections. Now I'm going to open up the Hebrew grammar since I already have it. I don't want to make 2 of them. And I've titled it Grammar : Hebrew, and then in parentheses, the word only. So that's the name of it, the title. Now notice the rule is very easy. It's the word type, grammar, then space, title, Hebrew. Now if you're wondering why I'm using the type, you'll notice that if you look below, I have various columns, a grid below listing the various resources that fit this particular rule. Now, if you're not seeing a grid, if you're seeing, let's say, book covers or title view, you'll want to click on this little link here and click on Details View. This gives you access to the columns. With the access to the columns, you now can right-click on any of these column titles and you can choose which columns of information you wish to be displayed. So I have the type column right here displayed. That's why there's a check next to it. Type, as you can see, is telling me the type of book it is. Like, for example, if we wanted to look at Bibles, we would type in type Bible, and all the Bibles would appear. This is a great way to kind of filter the list and just see the resources that you want. So, since we only want grammar resources, we typed in type : grammar. And then all the grammar resources pretty much use the word Hebrew in the title. So I was able to take title : Hebrew, put those 2 together, and now the list is showing me every grammar book with the word Hebrew in the title. And that has provided us a wonderful list of key grammar books related to Hebrew. Once you're done, you can just click New, close it down by clicking on the X on the tab, and you've got your collection created. Now, we go to Search. If we go to Search, Basic Search, we're going to get this search box. Now, I have selected all text, and here's where we can select our collection. So if we type in grammar, we'll see in the Collections section of the drop-down menu, we'll see our Grammar Hebrew only. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now comes the most important part. What do we put in the Find box? Well, I have here, quote, Hebrew space numbers, quote, or, which allows us to have more information to search on, cardinal numbers, notice that's in quotes, or ordinal numbers, or numerals. These are some of the key words that you want to use in your search so that you can find resources that are going to explain more on this topic of Hebrew numbers. And that's what the purpose of this search is. So you'll be able to discover right away what information you have already in your library before you go and purchase another book. And you can take this webinar and this specialized search and get even more out of Hebrew numbers. So that's how you learn more. What do you need to know? Well, first, understand, you probably have already discovered this, but it's a good reminder. There are no number symbols like we have. In other words, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Romans, they had Roman numeral 1, 2, 3. But the Hebrews in the Bible did not use any of these symbols. They used words for counting. And it's very important that you understand the two basic systems of counting in the Hebrew. The first is the cardinal system. And I like the word cardinal because C for cardinal relates to the idea that it's used for counting. So this is for 1 and 2, 3, 4, etc. Now, what's really cool is that Logos and other researchers and scholars have tagged the Bible so we can actually search on these numbers. So let's go ahead and do that. But you have to do it with a morphological search. So we already have the search window open. It's in basic search mode. Let's switch to morph mode. The search we want to do is very important. So first thing we have to do is let's set up our Bible. So we're going to do all morph text. We'll do Old Testament, and then I'm going to choose the NASB English Bible, and then I'm going to choose Logos Hebrew. Very important. Now, the next thing we're going to do is delete all our information in the find box in case you have something there, and then we're going to hit the @ symbol. By typing in the @ symbol, a parts of speech menu appears. Click on the word numeral. Now, notice that in the NASB 95, there's two types of numeral type, cardinal and ordinal. So even at the morphological level, you'll be able to search on this. So let's go ahead and choose cardinal. And if we press enter, we can get back our search results. And here's every place where a cardinal number is used in the Bible. In fact, almost 5,000 times. And the first place is in Genesis 1:5. God called the light day and the darkness he called night, and there was evening and there was morning one day. In other words, this number is used for counting. Very, very cool. And you can see in 1:9, let them be gathered into one place. He made two great lights. It became 4 rivers. The name of the first is Pishon, and so forth. Very, very important that you can see that there's a number used for counting. Now, the second type of counting is the ordinal system. And the reason I like the word ordinal is because O represents order. In other words, in what order do these, let's say, these numbers in a series appear? Let me give you some examples. Let's run our search. We can search on this. So I'm going to go back to the search engine or search box. I'm going to get rid of the C. This time I'm going to click on ordinal. Notice if you float your mouse, by the way, over these labels that are in the morphological box, you get a quick definition. And this is the form of a numeral that expresses order, such as first, second, and third, which is different than counting. So when you think of order, that is, you have to have in your mind that there's a series. And in this series, the items in that series have an order. So for example, let's run the search and let's see what kind of words come back. So for example, second day. Now this is really important.